Have you ever wondered how Amazon was able to revolutionize the way the world does business and fundamentally change the expectations that customers have for their suppliers? One of the keys to their success is their extensive use of a technology called an API. Hi, I'm Rob Carrington, and in this video I'm going to talk about what an API is, why using APIs will completely change the game for your shop, and some easy steps you can take to get started using APIs today. The API is one of the most impactful technical innovations of the digital age. But what exactly is an API? To understand this, let's first look at something more familiar, the graphical user interface. An interface is defined as a point where two systems, subjects, or organizations meet and interact. A graphical user interface, or GUI, is the way a human user interacts with an app. This could involve searching, entering information, downloading information to your computer, and more. By contrast, an API, or application programming interface, is a way to interact with an app without needing to click on screens or type into fields. APIs make it possible to read data out of systems and write data into systems by sending electronic messages. You can think of it like sending and receiving text messages in a very specific format. For example, we can perform the same Google Maps search from before by sending a message to the Google Maps API instead of clicking around in the GUI. At this point, you might be thinking, why would anyone want to do this? Isn't it a lot more work than just typing into the search bar and hitting enter? The truth is, there are many advantages to using APIs that far outweigh the barriers to entry. Here are three. First, APIs make information easily accessible in a secure way. Legacy software creates information silos by requiring users to physically interact with the GUI to access the data. With APIs, you can securely access an application's data from outside that application. Second, APIs enable automation. GUIs optimize for human interaction, while APIs optimize for machine interaction. Using APIs, computer programs can be created to automatically move data between two or more software tools. For example, with the right APIs in place, a computer program could periodically check your inventory of commonly used fasteners and automatically order more if the inventory drops below a specified threshold. Third, an API is a contract. Not in the legal sense of the word, but figuratively. The look and feel of an app may change dramatically over time, but changes made to an API are designed to be backwards compatible. This means you can build automation that relies on the API and not have to worry about your process breaking in the future. Let's revisit the Amazon example from the start of the video to see these principles in action. Amazon combines a vast amount of data from disparate sources into a single location in order to give their customers all the information they need to make informed purchases. Some of this data is housed in their internal software systems, but some of it is managed by external partner companies. So how do they pull this off? By using APIs. APIs give Amazon secure access to the data they need from their partners. And because an API is a contract, they have peace of mind knowing that the changes made to the partners' internal data systems will not impact Amazon's processes. Amazon also makes extensive use of internal APIs to automate their business processes. One notable example is the impressive degree to which they've automated order fulfillment and delivery logistics. APIs allow computer programs to read and write data to and from all of Amazon's business systems without any human intervention. The result is an impressively short lead time for delivering products to their customers. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Amazon has built their entire business around APIs and software automation. They even productized their internal processes and systems and created Amazon Web Services, which serves as the backbone for many of the world's most successful companies. I want you to take a moment to think of the most perfect workflow you can imagine for your shop. Dream big and forget about practical considerations, just for a moment. Does that perfect workflow involve seamless automation? Does it involve making strategic decisions based on an abundance of data? If your answer to either of those questions was yes, using APIs will be a key part of your journey to realize that vision. APIs make it easier to make data-driven decisions. Imagine you've been asked to add two numbers that are written on a piece of paper in front of you. Easy. Now imagine you've been asked to add two numbers, but one number is stored in an Excel spreadsheet and the other is in an email. Adding the numbers is still easy once they're in the same place, but getting the numbers into the same place just got a lot more annoying. Now imagine you've been asked to add two numbers, but to get one of the numbers you need to take the average of the values in 1,000 Excel spreadsheets. You get the idea. Obviously, making a decision is more complex than adding two numbers together. But this example illustrates the point that making data-driven decisions requires two steps: gathering the data and then making the decision. Humans are not well suited for moving data, but the data still needs to be moved before a decision can be made. Machines, on the other hand, are not good at reasoning and judgment. They can only do what we program them to do. Even AI falls well short of the decision-making power that humans are capable of. The game-changing truth of the digital age is that humans and machines complement each other. Collaborative robots are a great example of how this can work on the shop floor, but this is just as true in the front office. APIs make it possible to build processes that optimize for the strengths of both the humans and the machines in your shop. By automating rote tasks like data collection and entry, you can free up your team to focus on higher value work while simultaneously getting more work done. We've spent a lot of time talking about APIs in the abstract. Let's switch gears now and talk about some concrete use cases. Have you ever found yourself manually entering data from one system into another? How about manually compiling weekly or monthly reports based on information that lives in your ERP, your accounting software, and a pile of spreadsheets? APIs can help with this problem. Have you ever struggled to accurately measure the cycle time for a job so you can compare it to your estimate? You may be surprised to learn that physical devices, such as machine tools, can have APIs as well. MT Connect and other similar protocols are an example of APIs that can be used to pull data from the machine tools in your shop to perform analyses like job costing. If you're a tinkerer, you can start experimenting with APIs right now. We'll get into that more in the next section. With APIs, your software tools are building blocks, and the way you combine them is limited only by your imagination. There's nothing stopping you from getting started with APIs today. I'm going to show you a couple ways you can get started without spending a dime. The first step is to create an inventory of the software tools you use. This may not be the most exciting task, but it's easy to do and super helpful as a way of generating ideas. Check if each tool has an API. Start with a quick Google search. If that doesn't work, reach out to the software vendor and ask them where you can find their API documentation. Not all software has an API, but once you see which ones do, it will spark ideas about which processes you can start to automate. The second step is to start experimenting with a tool like Zapier to automate manual tasks. Zapier allows you to build automation without needing to know the specifics of programming and APIs. The free tier is perfect for familiarizing yourself with what is possible to do with automation. Zapier integrates with hundreds of apps and makes the process of building automation very simple. I have over 15 years of programming experience, and I still chose to use Zapier to automatically populate my CRM with the form submissions from my website. It only took about 5 minutes to set up. We've talked about what an API is, how using APIs can transform your business, and how to get started with APIs. But there's a key point we've glossed over. Not all APIs are created equally. Before you can start using an API in earnest, you need to evaluate that API to understand what capabilities it provides. If you want to learn how to do that, click on the link to my next video. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay curious.